Hey y'all, we are the Updike family located in the mountains of Tennessee. We're excited to share our homesteading journey with all of you. From the farm to the table, we'll share the ins and outs, the ups and downs, from recipes and how-tos to our adventures of running a homestead. So come on in and join us. From our home to yours, welcome to the Updike family homestead.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Updike Family Homestead. So we are now in the middle of June. It is not even summer yet, and the heat index has been well into the hundreds here in Tennessee. So to beat the heat, I've been coming out pretty much before the sun rises. It's gonna look a little bit wild right now because we just got back from vacation, so obviously I'm out here pulling weeds with my husband. But I thought it would be fun to kind of give you guys a garden update because we did change quite a bit this year, starting with our raised boxes. So in all of these boxes, I did pretty much two of each thing. So like two raised beds of each thing. We've got the first bed over here and the second bed. Both of those have garlic, basil, jalapeno peppers, and then we have a traditional pole bean on each hoop. So we've got two hoops of the pole beans and two boxes of the jalapenos and garlic and basil. When we move down, we've got two boxes. We're going to begin our Chinese noodle beans right along here. If you've never heard of a Chinese noodle bean, this is our first year growing these, so I'm super excited to see how that's going to do. But in here, we've got all of our pepper plants. We've already got peppers. We do already have jalapenos as well. This is oregano. I started this oregano from seed several years ago, and it just kind of overtook the herb boxes. So I broke it up and separated it out, and now we've got numerous plants of oregano. So of course we've got box number 2 of the same thing, Chinese noodle beans, bell peppers, and oregano. We move down. Now I do only have one box of banana peppers because we don't really use banana peppers very often, so I don't need as many. But again, we already have some little guys on here growing. We also have rosemary in this bed, and we begin our cucumber plants. So cucumbers will grow up on this hoop, and we've got cucumbers on each side, so they'll kind of meet in the middle. In this bed, I have some more rosemary, again started from seed, lettuce started from seed, kale, and more lettuce. This is a different variety of lettuce. More cucumbers. On this side, you can see that our broccoli has pretty much finished for the year. It's a little bit too hot now. I'm letting it go to seed. As you can see right here, once this happens, it's gonna go to seed. I'm gonna dry these out and then save those seeds for next year. Or actually, I take that back. Broccoli you can grow twice a year here where we are. They are a cool weather plant. They do not like the heat. So when fall comes, about September, I will replant some broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage, and spinach so that we have it for fall and winter. Here I've got more thyme. Thyme and oregano are both perennial herbs, so I won't ever need to do anything with those. They will stay. I can split them up just like you would any other kind of bulb or like hostas or anything like that. You can see here we've got dill growing. Now dill is an annual. You do have to plant dill and basil every year. But the dill is going to pair perfectly while we're making our dill pickles from the cucumbers. Moving on down, I believe, yep, here's some more cucumber. Again, we've got dill, thyme, and broccoli. And here we start the birdhouse gourds. Birdhouse gourds are also known as bottle gourds. You can take beeswax, melt it, and swoosh it around inside that gourd, and now you have a water bottle. So here we begin sage, cauliflower, and we have onions, and of course the birdhouse gourds again. we've got 2 boxes of that, of the sage cauliflower, and again, the cauliflower is pretty much done for the year. So we'll replant that when, pull that weed while I'm looking at it. We'll replant the cauliflower when it gets cold again. Now right here we have what is called a, not this one, but this one right here, that is called a purple whole pea. Purple whole peas are very similar to like a black-eyed pea, but we prefer the texture and the taste of the purple whole pea over the texture and taste of black-eyed peas. Now in here you can see our spinach is pretty much almost done, but again, I'm letting it go to seed, and I really don't even have to save these seeds. If I just let this stay, it'll dry naturally and kind of replant itself. We also have some big heads of lettuce. This is not iceberg lettuce, it's a different variety, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the specific name off the top of my head, but it's delicious. It's got a much better taste than iceberg lettuce. Again, we've got more purple whole peas. Now in here, we have cilantro, which is down here. Then we've got romaine lettuce and more purple whole peas on both sides. Nope, I'm so sorry. We begin the loofahs on this side. Now loofahs, a lot of people don't realize that, but the same type of loofah that you would buy from Walmart to use as a body wash, or even as a sponge in your kitchen, that's what a loofah plant grows. You just let it grow. You don't need very many, because one will produce so many loofahs you'll be running, all over the place with them. But you dry them out. Now you have a sponge for dishes or even to use in the bath. Cabbage is pretty much done for the year, but we've got 2 boxes of cabbage, more loofahs, more onions, and yes, I need to pull some weeds. Now the other thing that we did new this year was we laid out this black woven weave weed barrier. I just finished telling my husband, this is something that I do not regret buying. It is worth every single penny, because James is gone for, about 14 hours a day. And I'm just not physically able to keep up with a 10,000 square foot garden without the assistance of this woven weave. It's been amazing. But in here, we grew 2 new varieties of cantaloupe. Some of them have started coming up. I've got one right here. Look at that little guy. Hello, little friend. Then we have 2 rows of honeydew. And then we have 3 rows of watermelon. You can see here where, the ducks kind of came in and ate the seed as I was planting it. But we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, never mind. All 12 of them took. Yay! Now, right here we have what is called Big Mac's pumpkin. We planted some more seed because I think I planted it a little bit too early. 1 took of all of them that we planted, so hopefully this next round will be a little bit more successful. But that is our first time growing these Big Mac's pumpkins, and I'm tickled to death. We've got some random loofahs coming up here. There were some random cucumbers also through here. There they are. That's this right here is actually a cucumber plant. I've got them all growing down here. These must have just kind of been left over from last year's garden, and that's okay. I'm just going to kind of let them do their thing. Here we have the flat white pumpkins. These are just going to be great for us to sell at the farmer's market, or down at the like where we sell our eggs out front. Here we have field pumpkins. We're going to do the same exact thing with them. And then here we've got sugar pie pumpkins. Now sugar pie pumpkins are what you use to make pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, pumpkin muffins, anything pumpkin related. So as we grow these, I'm going to be canning this pumpkin so that we can have all of that deliciousness all year round and not have to depend on the grocery store to provide that canned pumpkin. So these did phenomenal. In here we have some pretty much, I'm going to call them like decorative squash. Like, you know, with the autumn and the fall displays. These are going to be great when it's time for us to celebrate Sukkot this year. So I'm just super excited. This section here, I believe it is, I think we did 12 of the Illinois squash. And then on this side, you can kind of see where the difference is in the texture and the appearance of the squash leaves. This is called green striped Cushaw squash. Moving on down, we have butternut squash. Now, all of the pumpkins, the squash, the watermelon, the cantaloupe, pretty much everything except for the tomatoes and the things that are in our raised beds, we just put the seed right into the ground. So I am tickled to death with how this has produced. I mean, I'm just amazed. Now right here, as you can see, we've got our honeybees. They have, James, would you say it's probably quadrupled in the amount than we first ordered?
Definitely.
They are already producing honey. We got to taste some of the honey this morning and it was delicious. So good. Now right here we have our corn that's growing, and then you can take a look here. We've actually got some rogue squash plants that just kind of happened.
Some green beans.
Yep, and some green beans that kind of got left. We're just going to kind of let them do their thing. Got more green beans back there. Over here we have our zucchinis, and they are already, James, come on in close. I want to show them how our zucchinis are already. Look at that. I am just so pleased. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but you don't want your zucchinis to get too big because they can kind of get bitter in their taste, similar to cucumbers. Now, let's say that you miss a zucchini and it just ends up getting big. Don't worry, you can still use it. Just shred it up, and now you have zucchini for muffins. Now, take a look at here. These are our yellow crooked neck squash. Look at how that one kind of grew together.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. He's almost ready. But we have, oh my gosh, probably 50 squash, yellow crooked neck squash already producing on the vine. So very, very pleased with. And look at this, minimal weeds. There's been a couple of areas, like maybe we planted a squash seed there and it just didn't take. Sometimes that happens, it's okay. I think we're good. But that's really the only place that the weeds will grow inside of here. Now right here we have spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is delicious, and anything that you would use pasta for, like spaghetti, or this can actually even be just a simple side dish, but a lot of times we like to take the spaghetti squash and cook it like you would spaghetti, and add some marinara sauce, some grilled chicken, and a little bit of basil. It's perfect, so good. Now right here we have our acorn squash. I love acorn squash, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of these recipes when these things start producing. But acorn and butternut squash are both late summer, early fall vegetables. Now right here we have a different variety of a green bean. This is called a bush bean. Now let me just kind of share this with you guys. Pole beans will continue to produce. Like, you can pick them and they'll keep coming back, so that you'll have a supply of green beans for a much longer time. Bush beans, it's almost like a once and done. So once they produce and you pick them, they're done for the season. But bush beans are a little bit more of a flat variety, similar to what you would see like an Italian green bean. I love them, they're delicious, but we do like both varieties of the green beans. Here we have Lima beans, not to be mistaken for butter beans. They are different, but Lima beans are a little bit bigger than butter beans, and we love them. They're so good. All right, now moving on. We have about 100 different tomato plants. The varieties that we grew this year, we have 5 cherry tomatoes, and then we grew oh my goodness, I think it's like an early girl tomato. We use them for so many different things. Cherry tomatoes, those are great for snacking and just eating as we're out in the garden. The early girl tomatoes, I like to take those and dice them up and can them as diced tomatoes. So we've got about 20 of those. Then on this side, yes, we need to prune. We've been working on it in the evening times. Now,
It's been 100 degrees every day. It's quite hot to be out here pulling weeds.
Yes, absolutely. So right here we have 20 some Amish paste tomatoes, and then 20 some Roma tomatoes. These two types of tomatoes are great for making your tomato sauces. So pasta sauce, pizza sauce, any of those kinds of things. We do make all of that.
These.
Oh yes, our carrot patch here, all the way up and down. We need to come in,
Peter
of course.
Rabbit's favorite.
Yeah. But anyway, so you're going to use these to make all of your sauces. The diced tomatoes that I was telling you guys about earlier, those are also great to make salsas as well, but you can use these to make salsas too. Now on this side, we have the big beefsteak tomatoes. These are the tomatoes that we loved. Like, we'll take them when they're green, add a little bit of cornmeal or flour and fry them up for fried green tomatoes. We like to slice them. Here in the South, we call them mater sandwiches. But we've got all of these, about 20 of the beefsteak. Now on this side,
These were a couple of transplants, so yeah, they don't look great, but they're gonna make it.
oh yeah, they'll do fine. On this side, we have the heirloom tomatoes. These are the tomatoes that you never know what color you're gonna get. Now all of our seeds that we planted this year are heirloom seeds, which means when they produce the fruit, we will be able to dry the seeds out and save them for the future. That's very important, especially in these days and times, because you never know. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But anyway, so we like to eat both of these fresh. Although you could can them. There's nothing, it's not going to hurt anything if you don't eat them fresh. Lots of blooms all over them. So the heirloom tomatoes, they're kind of fun to grow because sometimes you'll get an orange tomato or a yellow tomato or the purple tomatoes. That kind of, spooks our guests out sometimes because we're like, we've never seen a purple tomato. It tastes the same, but it's just delicious. Now right here, this is another new one that we grew this year. And I am thrilled. I cannot wait. There's blooms all over it. But these are called Cherokee Trail of Tear black beans. We do eat a lot of black beans. One of our favorite foods is Mexican, so we decided to try out the black beans this year. And look at this. It's probably, getting ready to start producing. I don't know, because like I said, this is new, but that's amazing. I'm so excited. Now it is too hot for peas now. These are just a traditional Lincoln green garden pea. Once your temperature reaches about 80 degrees consistently a day, your peas are going to be done. So we're going to give it just a little bit longer, and then we're going to tear this out, and not the black mesh and not the fence line. I may actually come back in and put in some zipper peas, because zipper peas love the heat. So anyway, I think that is all of it. We do also have raspberries, we've got grapevines, we've got apples, we do have potatoes that aren't, they're not ready yet, but they're coming. We grow tons of basil, tons of medicinal herbs here on the homestead, and I will be showing you guys that later on. But for now, it's time for us to sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day.